to Blog Talk Radio and Facebook Live. I have my special guest, Dennis Estlock, and I also have my co host, David Flowers. I'm going to take them off of mute. Um, let me see, because we only have so much time on the show. Pull y'all off of mute right away. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Just making sure. I don't want to be extremely loud like I was on the last show. Got to make sure I'm public too, so hold on a second.
And those of us that know you are used to you being loud and reasonably obnoxious.
Oh, that's true. I'll give you that one. Hi, Heather. How are you?
Hey there, Heather. Hey, Heather.
Just wanted to remind everybody too, that's tuning in. If you want the latest paranormal events, go to Virginia Paranormal Events on Facebook, and that way you can find out all the latest events that are going on as far as different paranormal investigations. as far as different paranormal investigations. And as y'all know, Dennis Estlock is our special guest tonight, and he does a multitude of things. The main thing to me is, or how I got to know him, was at an investigation through Pamplin Park, and he is the founder, hello Shayla, of Crop. He's also one of the caretakers at the Cabin on 360. So, and these are for people that are new on my Facebook page that don't know who he is. David Flowers, he's my co-host. He's in the middle. He is the person that runs the tours over at the Manor House in Williamsburg. So tours are done there Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, 9:00. Reach out to him if y'all want to set up something. And without further ado, here we go, because this is unscripted. Dennis.
Yes, ma'am.
Dennis, can you tell people about yourself? Because I have so many people on here that are new, don't know you.
So I've dealt with the paranormal since I was 7. My first interaction with spirit was at 7. My grandfather passed away. He came to me, told me goodbye, and he loved me, and he'd see me later. So that was my first time. I probably ran my first EVP session, which we didn't even know it was called that then, when I was 10, 11 years old, with a couple of cousins of mine. They lived close to a very large cemetery, and we had heard and I'm going to give away my age here. Remember what we used to call the old ghetto blaster, or the shoulder rocker?
Mm-hmm.
The stereo that made you walk kind of sideways, threw it up on your shoulder and strolled off, much to the dismay of all the neighbors and anyone around you. I had one of those, so we put it out in the cemetery and just hit record and went a couple of 100 feet away from it to see what actually happened. And lo and behold, we didn't pick up ghosts talking or spirits talking, but what we picked up was somebody whistling a tune.
Oh, wow.
My uncle was a musician and played in a band and actually had his own band. And, he had played in Nashville before, so he was very well versed at it. So they took it to him, and they're like, "Dad, what is this? We got this out in the cemetery." There wasn't anybody around. It was a tune from, he believed it was the 1940s. So that was pretty cool. So we had no clue. We didn't hear anything while we were out there, but the recorder picked it up. So that was my first EVP session. Then when I was 16, my brother passed away, took his own life. And that was my next major interaction with spirit. Hey, Heather. I remember my brother coming to me, telling me goodbye. He loved me, and he'd always have my back. And I knew at that moment that this was going to be pretty much a lifetime passion for me. I was going to do this. Then I start watching all the shows and everything, and I'm kind of like, wow, they really don't do this the way I would do it if it were me doing it. So then I started CROP, Commonwealth Researchers of the Paranormal. And I've got some of the most wonderful people I could ever ask for, yourself included. Carrie that's in chat, Heather that's in chat, the other Heather Stewart that's in chat. You know, we all bring a different set of tools to the table. You know, I've got some healthy skepticism amongst the team, and I've got firm believers on the team, and I've got sensitive people on the team, and I've got people that don't have the sensibilities of a rock when it comes to the spirit world, but they know how to use the equipment, what to do, and how to interact first and foremost with respect and with passion. If we're in the private residence helping somebody, they do it with compassion, and that's the type of people that I chose to surround myself with when I created this team. And I think I've done pretty damn well in that aspect.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the main things that my team focuses on, obviously we'll do a private residence in a heartbeat, but we have a location that my co-founder, Ryan Jones, and his family own, the cabin on 360. And we kind of specialize, we started there in charity events.
Yeah.
And then we started dealing with places like Henricus Historical Park, and we did fundraisers for them. We'd go out and we'd sell tickets to it, and all the funds go to the park. And then we did Pamplin Historical Park that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
We raised funds for them. And, you know, I've got a few other places in the pipeline right now that I'm trying to get in to do some fundraising for. We've done Edgewood Plantation, and we've got, you know, but my main goal in doing this wasn't to be on TV, wasn't to be, you know, one of the Paris celebs. I don't get invited to speak at the conferences. You know, that wasn't my goal. My goal was to help historic locations and people.
Wow.
And, you know, when we started doing Henricus Park, I made him a promise. I'll put you on the paranormal map. And I made Pamplin Historical Park the same promise. I want to put you on the paranormal map and make you known, help you make money, and help you fundraise.
Right.
And I had production companies reach out to me, and well, Pamplin Park was featured on an episode of Portals to Hell with Jack Osborne and Katrina Weidman, and it was a phenomenal show. And both of them walked away with the holy shit! Do you believe what happened? So, and Henricus, you know, they host events now a couple of times a year with other teams and doing fundraising and everything else. So I did exactly what I set out to do, and my team has been instrumental in that. We made these places something special in the paranormal.
Yeah.
So that's a little about me.
Yeah, that was a really good episode. We got some people in. Hi, Amanda. We got John Sullivan in. Shayla. So you got different people here in the chat. I just wanted to say hello to them. Hi, Lucy. How are you? Miss you too.
Doesn't it show me?
Can you not see it?
Doesn't it show me? This is bullshit. Hi, Lucy.
Yeah, the portals to hell. I watched that. That was a really, really good episode.
Yeah, that was funny. Just watching the two of them go back and forth with the REM pod and the flashlight, and they're like, what the hell? What is going on?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're getting played with. That's what's there. They're wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
The spirits there are just phenomenal.
Yeah. And how I was trying to look up some of the history of it. It's got, I mean, it has several different locations. I mean, as far as that Pamplin Park, it's a huge park. It's not it's not your typical little park. It's big.
No, it's 424 acres of battlefield.
Yeah.
It has two residential structures on property that were there pre-Civil War. Actually, it has a couple other than that, but the two are the Hart farm and the Boyceville family farm known as Tudor House. But there's a couple of other residences on the property that don't have the history to them, but they keep staff lives in those to keep them up and keep them vital.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. They also have the Banks House that's actually part of the park, but you have to go off property to get to it. So it's a phenomenal place. They host the Boy Scout Adventure Camp in the summertime. They'll get a few hundred Boy Scouts out there for the week. They'll dress them in kepis and teach them what it was like during the Civil War. They've got a little encampment area. They have a huge museum that's got just thousands of artifacts in it.
Oh yeah.
One of the most interesting things in the museum, and this is kind of morbid. So when the main museum was being built, one of the primary contractors there brought his dog to work with him every day. So the dog was kind of part of the crew, and everybody there knew the dog, and everybody got to love the dog. And before the building was 100% completed, the dog passed away. Well, they actually had the dog taxidermied, and the dog is now a permanent display in the main museum, in the main gallery at the front. So, I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we haven't gotten any evidence of a spirit dog being in the building, but the fact that the dog is there, it shows the type people that built this. They care. They're not doing it for fame and wealth because it's a not-for-profit. They're losing money every year. They barely make ends meet, but they have hearts of gold, and they love the history, and they want to share that and educate people about what it was then. And it's not based on. So most Civil War museums, parks, whatever, they want to focus on, General Lee did this, and Major so-and-so did that. These guys focus on the soldiers, the individual soldiers.
Hey, Katrina.
And the official name of the place is Pamplin Historical Park and the Museum of the American Civil War Soldier. And that's what it's based around. It's not just what the war was or about or instruments of the war. It's about the people that fought the war.
Mm-hmm.
John Doe that left home and family to go defend his land. So it's a really cool place, and the history there is phenomenal. The activity there is outstanding. So if you ever get a chance, go down to Dinwiddie, Virginia, check out Pamplin Historical Park. You'll have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Plan, probably 4 to 5 hours because it's a lot of walking.
Yeah, that's true. But it's still a cool place. It's interesting walking. You're not alone.
Yeah, there is. No,
Hey, Dennis.
No place on that park. It is.
Have they ever had? Excuse me. Have they had reenactments out there?
Oh yeah, many times.
Have you had the opportunity to do any kind of investigating after a reenactment?
No, I have not. That's one thing that I hope to do because typically the reenactments will just raise the vibe and raise the energy. So eventually I hope to be able to do that, but so far I have not had that opportunity. Hey, Katrina. But we have had the opportunity to investigate with the public on 3 separate occasions, and nobody has left yet going, I just didn't get anything. There was nothing. Nobody.
Nope.
And that's, we've done 4 or 5 investigations there as a team, and we've hosted 3 or 4 public investigations with 40 or 50 guests each time. And it's been phenomenal every time.
Yeah. Nothing.
I'm gonna have to make my way out there.
Yep, nothing missed out there. It's a
Well,
cool place.
yeah, I'm working with them now. So part of the problem, COVID, like so many other places, COVID kind of kicked them into financial bobos. Their main benefactor is the Pamplin Foundation, Dr. Pamplin and his family. And, you know, because their stocks took a major hit, they cut back funding to the park. So their main endowment for the year was drastically sliced. And then, of course, all of the students that used to come out, all of the weddings and receptions and major corporate functions and everything, they lost a huge part of that during COVID when we were in lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So they went from a crew and staff of 19 to about 9. And, you know, it's very hard for them to cover a nighttime session when we're there. Because of the main museum and the number of artifacts that are there, because of the artifacts that are in the Tudor Hall, the Hart Farm, the Battlefield Center, the artifacts in general that are on the property, they have to keep staff on site in those areas.
Yeah.
So they need 4 personnel on property with us, and if we stay till 2 a.m., then, well, they're there till 2 a.m. Well, rather than pay them overtime, they give them comp time, which is you take off Tuesday for coming in tonight. And the trouble is they don't have enough hands on deck to give the staff that time off during the week. So we're finding it very difficult to be able to get in there and do events and even just do an investigation again, period. They just don't have the manpower, and volunteerism in this country has dropped to an all-time low, I think.
Yeah.
You know, everybody feels so entitled. They want $15, $18 an hour to go flip burgers at a hamburger joint. And a volunteer, oh no, I'm worth $15, $18 an hour, and I'm not volunteering for anything. So they just don't have the hands available to back them up for us to come in and eat up man hours. Even though they make decent money when we do it, that's not the issue. The issue is they can't go without their staff during the daytime when they're open.
Right. Right. That makes sense.
But we are looking at the fall. So Chris Banchero is their head of operations. Previously, he was the chief park ranger. But he and I are looking towards the fall that maybe we can block some time out in their schedule, get them at a position where they can do an event. And as soon as I find out a
Hey,
date,
Tracy.
you bet your sweet ass I'm going to book it, and I'll scream it from the mountaintops that we're going back to Pamplin. Come and join us.
Yeah.
Hey, Tracy Ann, love you, sis.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for at this point is that, you know, they can hire some new staff, get a little extra coverage and some extra bodies in the buildings, and be able to get back to Pamplin and show the public what Jack and Katrina got to see when they were with Portals to Hell,
Hey, Gene.
and what my team has encountered. You know, it's been outstanding what we've encountered thus far in the past.
Yeah. Yep. That is true. Not boring there for sure. Can you talk a little bit about the cabin on
Any
360?
indication?
Can you talk a little bit too about the cabin on 360 while you're talking locations? Because I have people that are on here that are interested in that as well. Do you mind?
Well, since you asked so nicely, I suppose I can do that.
Thank you. Yeah, bring the Cheetos, Tracy, and don't forget Cheese Puffs, girl.
Yeah, right. So the cabin on 360, like I mentioned earlier, my buddy Ryan, who's the co-founder with Crop, his family owns it, and they bought it in 1978. It's 7 acres of battlefield on Route 360 outside Mechanicsville, Virginia. There's a log cabin and a brick rancher there. Within about a mile and a half, I can account for 2,264 men that were killed, captured, wounded, or missing in action, including right on that property. And then in 1979, there was a tragedy took place in the Brick Rancher between a
Hey, Yvonne.
17-year-old boy and his 12-year-old half-sister, and where he had raped and murdered her in the house. Now, we don't know why he did that. I do have EVPs that explain it, but, you know, you really don't know who you're talking to. So I can't hold an EVP 100% valid. It's certainly not admissible in court. But when I asked, did you cause Randy to rape and murder his own little sister, the EVP that I got back was a deep, gruff, yes. So something there is taking claim for it. As well, you know, my dear friends over at the Twisted Paranormal Society, they have a Paraflick series called The Twisted Realm. And they did an investigation there. And Tana asked, why did you do that? Why did you cause Randy to harm his own sister? And the voice that came back was that same deep, gruff voice and said, the violence. So something there is taking claim for it. Now, you know, if you want to take personal culpability away from a person that does a shitbag thing, and you want to blame it on, you know, demonic activity or whatever, you know, you're welcome to do that. Something that's taking credit for it. I don't know what led up to it. I wasn't there that day, obviously. It was 1979. But, you know, the 17-year-old kid raped and murdered his 12-year-old half-sister in the house in what had to have been an ugly struggle. And threw her body, partially clothed, out the back bedroom window and dragged her off in the woods. So there was definitely some energy left in that home. You know, I've been doing paranormal investigations for well around 20 years. And I've had to, for lack of better terms, I've had the living shit scared out of me twice. You know, where you almost put something down your pant leg. Once was at St. Albans Sanatorium. Something ran up behind me in the long, dark tunnel, as they call it. And the second time was at the Brick Rancher, at the cabin on 360. Something stepped in front of me coming out of the kitchen doorway into the living room. And it was just this instant rush right in my face. And my vision went black. I couldn't see the windows across the room from me. And I asked Ryan, where are you at? We had 2 prospective team members out there that night. I wanted to see how they're going to do in the dark and how well are they at investigating and et cetera. I asked Ryan, I said, hey man, where are you at? He said, I'm over by the bathroom. And that's when I went off on whatever stepped up in front of me. And I'm like, don't you ever fucking step up on me like that again. I will banish your ass. I will call my saints to bear. And then we hear like 3 boot steps go across the living room. And it went dead silent. Ryan asked me, what was that? I don't know, man, but I think I peed a little. I'm going outside. So that was the type of thing that I got to expect in that location. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Gene. 2 more of my team members. So, like I said, I've built a wonderful team, man. I've got some of the best in the field. They don't have all the latest, greatest technology. They don't have millions to spend, but what they don't have in their gear cases and in their bank accounts, they have in their heart, and that's why I brought them on board. I couldn't be any richer unless I won tonight's lottery, and then, you know,
Sorry that
you wouldn't even know. I mean, there will be a sign that I won the lottery, but I'm not going to tell anybody. You'll know. When the limo pulls up in front of my teammates' doors, go and get your ass in, you'll know.
well,
And Gene, Heather calling him out, TV superstar. Hey, Gene was on Portals to Hell with me. He had a great spot and he did a wonderful job. And
yeah, he really did. He did. Yeah. like I said, that was a really good show. Both of y'all did. That was an excellent show. If you haven't watched it, y'all need to watch it.
Yeah, my 30 seconds on that didn't compare to, superstar Gene there.
We need autographs.
Fantastic. I've already got his autograph. He signed my titty. I'm going to get it tattooed. I haven't washed that titty since he signed it. Oh, David's going to choke again.
Yeah, please don't choke him up again. Hey, your sister, your sister from another mother wants to come on chat, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute her. So we're in trouble now.
Oh Lord.
Hello.
This can only go downhill.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Buddy.
How are you?
Hi, brother.
Yeah, it's
Want
gonna
to know
go.
when that limo is going to show up at my house to tell me to get in the car?
Well, if I win tonight's $830+ million lottery, you won't get told when. You'll just know because the limo will come out and big people will come drag you out of your house. Yes.
Drag me. Heck, I'll put on my sparkly shoes, click my heels 3 times, yell, fuck you bitches to Illinois. Pardon my French, don't know if I can say that. And I'm gone.
Well, it's a little late to ask if you can say it now, isn't it?
Oops. Come on, I cuss like a sucker. It's part of my normal language. Oops.
It's not
Lottery ticket.
it's not a censored show. You're good.
Okay, I heard Geri say that. But apology if I offended anybody's virgin ears, but I say that laughing because we're all paranormal investigators, and boy, we've said some stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been out to the cabin of 360 or Pamplin Parker and Racket. You've had some stuff happen, and we all have.
Oh, yeah. So I got Heather Dotson in here says, love the walkaway sport and the crop shirt, Dennis. So I was authorized, because I'm the founder, I was authorized to wear a team shirt. Notice Gene didn't have.
Yeah.
Crystal was also on the episode, but her portion got cut. I don't know why. But I was authorized, as long as it has a small chest logo on it, it's okay. And then here goes a whole back piece.
I giggled when I saw his glow in the dark eyeballs. I'm like, get it, Dennis, get it.
But afterwards, they were like, man, I wish I had seen that shirt before we did that cut. Because do you have another shirt that doesn't have the whole back covered in a logo? And I went, well, I'm sorry, that's the only ones I had made. Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. It's your logo and everything, right? And I went, oh yeah, I designed the whole thing. So, but it was funny as hell. They weren't expecting that.
That was pretty funny. Well, you were dismissed, so you walked away. You're not going to walk away backwards. That's dumb.
Exactly. But Yvonne, hey, I hope you and Bill win good tonight in the big lottery. Congrats on buying tickets.
Yeah.
I see it's in the chat. So I had
Yeah, they're in Illinois.
What time's the drawing?
11.
11 o'clock? Okay. Maybe I'll have to get off the phone with you guys later and go get some tickets.
Exactly. So, yeah, like I was saying earlier, Crop does some pretty amazing things. And along with Crop, I have, so Tracy Ann here is basically my adopted sister from another mister. I often refer to her as my soul sister. She started something that the cabin last year, we opened the doors and allowed them to do this event at no cost. And I'll let her tell you about that because Crop will be involved in some future ones that she has coming. Yeah, I guess
that was this year, Dennis.
April?
That was just recently. We had, Geri and I talked about this before on the show, but I had an idea and I called Geri and I asked her what she thought of it. And she unwittingly became my co-founder of Boo Bitches Paranormal. And Boo Bitches Paranormal is an all-female investigation team that will get together and investigate what I call bucket list sites. The next one we're looking at is to go out to Alton, Illinois, and investigate the McPike Mansion and the Mineral Springs Hotel, which have been featured on Ghost Adventures. The owner of the hotel and the owner of the McPike Mansion, her name is Sharon Lookie, she's awesome, have already agreed that because of what our group does, that they would love to come on board and be part of the process. So what we do is we just bring on our group of our women, sign up, buy tickets on Eventbrite, and then come to the investigation site, have a picnic, have a potluck, have a great time, do our overnight investigations like you do. But all the proceeds from the sale of the tickets, once the cost of the event place is like you said, Kevin, on 360 was kind enough to donate the cost and write it off.
Mm-hmm.
But if a place has a location has a cost, we pay for that cost and then get that back in our ticket sales. And then through the raffle baskets that everybody makes and brings in to sell for our haunted raffles. And some of those baskets are pretty epic, I have to say. All the proceeds go to an area domestic violence shelter to support victims and survivors of domestic violence. So we go to a city to investigate. We take a look and find out what kind of women's shelter they have available in that city, and then we turn around and we donate back to that city's shelter. So, Geri, how much did we donate to Safe Harbor in Virginia?
I thought it was a little over 1,100, wasn't it?
1,800.
Yeah, it
What was
was.
that, Dennis? 1,700?
I said it was well over $1,000. I can't remember the exact figure. Do you remember the exact figure? It was quite a bit.
I don't remember exact, but it was right at $1,800.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, $1,800 got donated to that shelter. At least I think it was $170.86 or some weird
Mhm.
number.
Yeah.
That's a copious large amount of money to have added to your budget,
Yeah.
like all at once when you're working in these shelters. That's a lot of food. That's a lot of women's feminine products and shampoo and shoes and clothing. That's a lot.
Right.
A lot. So being able to do that, we're doing something on our platform that's a little different. Not only are we doing the donations, but the fact that it's women only. Men can still donate to the cause. They can donate and have their money sent to the shelter and be part of Boo Bitches that way. But this is giving women a safe environment to investigate. And when I mean by safe, I'm not saying that other teams are not, but what it does is allow for women to come together and share their experiences and share their stories. And they're learning that they are not alone in their experience, that they are not the only one that has suffered or been raped or been abused. And it allows for safe conversation and healing. And a lot of women will not open up and talk about their experiences around men. So at the Boo Bitches event that we had this year, Dennis and my husband, Robbie, were the only men allowed on campus.
God help
Ryan
him.
showed up for a very brief moment. We were really happy to see him. Everybody was grateful to see him, but he took his kids to him and then he left.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie and Dennis just made sure that we were all safe and they kept the bonfire burning. And it was an absolutely magical experience.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you again, Dennis, for hosting us at the Cabin on 360. We will definitely bring the group back for another investigation there until the property gets sold. Hopefully that doesn't happen. If you win the lotto, please buy the property.
Oh, if I win the lotto, you bet your ass the first thing I'm doing is
And if I win the
slapping
lottery,
down.
I will buy the property. Y'all hear that? Putting that on there. If I win the lottery, I will buy the property. We will make sure that the cabin stays investigatable.
Yeah.
But Geri, do you have anything to add on that to the Boo Bitches event?
No, I think you pretty much covered it all. I mean, like you said, it was a magical experience. I mean, I felt sorry for some of the conversations that the men got caught up in because they realized that we talk way worse than they do.
The one that constantly kept me off guard was Vanessa's friend Lynn. Man, she was the sweet little quiet one you had to watch out for. She'd drop a bomb on you and leave you standing there choking on your drink. He caught Robbie off guard once. He about peed his pants out. He's a little stinker, that one. I just love her.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was a lot of fun.
You guys up to date? It was. And I'll
Yeah.
keep you guys up to date on the, and really, it's just, do we have enough interest? Can I get enough interested people that would be willing to come up here to Illinois and go to, it's called Alton, Illinois, and it is voted the most haunted small city in America. And there's an author who has written many books about Alton. His name is Troy Taylor. He's on Facebook. He also does the tours through the Mineral Springs Hotel. But Troy has written probably 70 books. He's done Haunted St. Louis. His most recent one is called, I have it in my hand here, hold on just a second. It's called Hell Hath No Fury, 13 Spirits of the Wicked and the Wronged. And it talks about women. So again, the domestic violence background there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Troy's amazing. He would be part of our group. He would be part of our tours with us. And so look up Troy Taylor. If you guys haven't heard of him before, take a look at what he offers as far as his writings. And he's like you, Dennis. He knows his research. He researches his background, does his history, ferrets out what's story and what's been handed down through generations versus what has actual fact attached to it. So really fantastic guy to have on board. And Sharon would be present at the McPike Mansion. She bought the mansion at auction several years ago, and they put in about $400,000 into this just trying to keep the building standing. The building is in absolute turmoil. So being in the house, there's only a few places in the house we'd be able to investigate because the staircases are not safe. The floors are falling through. And I can look through the floor of the main entry and look all the way up into the second floor. So we don't really want to go too far. But there's a lot of activity, and we have the whole basement, which is a huge wine cellar, locked-in tavern-style basement. So lots of stuff there to do, and that will be where we would actually be able to camp. She's got a bonfire and space for camping, so that's where we can set up tents and actually camp. So it's just about finding out if we have enough interest to book the next Boo Bitches for, midsummer, spring at Alton.
Nice.
So I will talk about it because I want somebody to say, we want to go.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see.
Trust me, if I can figure out financing, and if I can get, several of my team members on board, we'll carpool our happy asses out there, and we'll be there.
Well, you guys just know that when you get up this way, I will move dining room tables and put up air mattresses. My Victorian home is open for anybody to sleep in. We will make floor space. I got 3 floors of livable space. We will find rooms for butts. Not a problem.
So, Heather, Carrie, y'all hearing this? Get ready for an Illinois road trip someday. And Heather Dotson, you got to make sure Iris has got her shit together so she can go along with us. We'll go check out some big mansions out in Illinois.
Yeah.
Good people. You guys are going to meet some really good paranormal investigator people out here that are good historians and just genuinely good folks.
That goes on the
I always
lines.
like to try to support those. And
Does that go on the lines of
look for you, Geri. Alton.
Does that go on the lines of Unity, Dennis? I mean, this is
community. And Alton has a women's shelter. I already reached.
nice.
So
Okay.
we would have a place to donate.
Well, it's not like you're not coming on my show anytime soon, Tracy. And
At some point, but we're going to talk about other stuff. But Dennis brought it up. So I had to talk about it. But, yeah, that's really all I've got. Except for we did get a chance to go to Mineral Springs just kind of impromptu the other day. It was a complete fluke. We went up to, a friend of mine had to go pick up a dollhouse that she bought. Her name's Terry. Dennis, you met Terry with the ghost, Terry. Anyway, she said to tell you hi, and she loves you. She hopes to see you soon. And anyway, she and I went up to Alton to go and pick up a dollhouse that she bought that she's going to transfer into a haunted house. It's going to be really cute. But we stopped by Mineral Springs, and I was shopping at the little crystal shop. They had a whole witchy crystal shop, which was really nice. And this lady walked up to me, and she just started talking to me, and she started reading me, like psychic reading me. And I looked at her, and I looked at the jewelry she was wearing, and I'm like, you're the owner, aren't you? Because the pieces that she had on were probably hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of crystal necklaces and rings. And that says, you own the place. She goes, yeah, I do, as a matter of fact. And offhanded, I asked, would it be possible to see the bathhouses and the pools? And she looked me up and down for a minute and then stepped back and said, for you? Yeah, I think that would be okay. They don't do that. Can't stress enough, they don't do that. And they gave us carte blanche for as long as we wanted down there in those haunted pools. And it was the coolest. But I don't know what made her say yes, but I'm so glad she did. We had a blast. Didn't have a whole lot of activity, but Dennis, there was something that involved you down in the pool. Why do they always find you, man?
What do you mean something that involved me?
I tried to text you. Now I'm sitting down in the pool area. I have full service on my phone. I have 4 bars on my phone. I've been texting with my husband, so I know they're going through. And then I pull up your name, and I start to text, hey, Dennis, that's where we are. I'd love for you to do a remote read on the place. And they immediately went undelivered, and I went full no service on my phone. I'm like, oh.
Why are you surprised?
So then I thought, I'm going to test this theory because I know they like to mess with you. So I popped back over and I sent a text to my husband. 4 bars, full service, went through, no problem. I'm like, all right, back pop over to Dennis. Tried to text you again and send you pictures. Boop, no service. I'm like, you fuckers. They know you there too, Dennis. Huh?
Sound familiar, Geri?
Yeah, very much so. That's why I said I'm not surprised.
In Alton.
You're just so well known in the realms.
Yeah, all those messages you got from me, Dennis, came after we left the basement pool.
Nice.
We were already gone, and then they sent, because then you replied.
On a fairly similar note, this weekend we have folks coming out that are all camp counselors to the cabin, and then next weekend I'm going to Ohio State Reformatory Mansfield with a half a dozen very good teams that are like family to me. FPRI, Twisted, Middletown, GI Paranormal, Covert. They're all really good people. And they ended up with an opening, so they asked me if I wanted to go to Ohio State Reformatory. And I said, hell yes. And the irony of that is, about 2 years ago, I had a father and son that had done like Henricus Park with us. They had done Pamplin Park with us. They had done the cabin a couple of times. And then they kind of disappeared for probably 3-4 months. Mm-hmm. And they showed up again for an investigation at the cabin. And as I shook their hands and greeted them, I said, man, where you guys been? You've been missing for a while. I was kind of wondering if everything was all right. And went, oh, yeah, we decided we were going to branch out. So we went and we did Eastern State Penitentiary, and then we did Moundsville Penitentiary, and then, you're famous. I went, no, I'm not famous. I'm well known, and it may or may not be good known, but I'm well known. He goes, oh, no, the spirits at Ohio State know you. I went, oh, you went to Ohio State? That's cool as hell. I can't wait to get there one day. And he goes, wait, you've never been there? And I went, no. Well, we were in chatting with everybody else, and we told them that we had gone to the cabin on 360 several times, and we captured an EVP that says, fuck Dennis. And you've never been there? And I started laughing, going, yeah, this seems to be a running theme.
Mm-hmm.
So,
asshole,
I think
yep.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of enforces the theory that I've been kind of working on for years in what you do in one location. Spirit has open communication. They can talk to each other. They don't need us. They have a communication system that's incredible. So if you're a complete asshole in one location, you are known before long at all locations. And when you go into a location and you don't treat the spirits there with respect and you treat them with disregard, I think the other spirits at other locations, and I'm a firm believer that they know you're coming there before you know you're going there.
Yeah.
And they will definitely put you in your place. Now, I think the reason that I am thought of as an asshole amongst the spirit world is because of what I do. As a medium, as the one that does the cleansings and blessings, and if need be, I will be the one that performs the crossings. You know, I've been blessed in 5 different religions and 3 different beliefs. So I think Spirit knows that I'm there for one of 2 reasons. If they're an asshole and I've been called in to deal with them, they know it's about to get ugly and go down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're the principal in the highest school.
Yeah, but when you get to like the cabin on 360, Melissa, the young lady that was murdered, I'm convinced that she's still there, and I'm convinced that she knows I am there as her protector. I mean, I got a Class A EVP out of her bedroom that brought me to tears. I'm leaned against her window frame, and I said, Melissa, are you here with us, sweetheart? And I got just this beautiful little female voice that says, I'm with you. And it sounded like she was standing right beside me in that room, and I got the cold chills on the whole right side, and I had to step outside. I started crying. It was just that emotional. Because, you know, I've spent 6 years not just researching this girl and her short little life, but trying to connect to her and trying to help her feel that you are not forgotten. You are loved. Your life wasn't meaningless. You know, even though it was ended tragically and short, you are loved.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think in paranormal investigating, there is the theory of familiarity. The more you return to a place, the more spirit is going to talk to you. And the more they know you, the more they're going to talk to you. And I think that young lady finally understood that, you know, he's here for my benefit. Because one of the first things I did was sealed and blessed her room and told her that this is your safe space. You can come and go through the rest of the house all you like, but you can always return to this room, and nothing else is allowed in this room. And we've caught some other voices in that room, but very little. It's almost always been Melissa's voice in that room. And I don't think I've ever caught a male's voice on EVP in that room. So, you know, I think...
And then we reblessed it with... Go ahead, sir.
I think Spirit kind of understands boundaries. You know, there's definitely intelligent spirit there. It's not all just residual, you know, tape play. There is definitely some intelligent spirit there.
Agreed. There is definitely a difference in Melissa's room during the Bubik's event, set up that small altar in her room with the flowers and remember when Vanessa said, Vanessa had a very interesting experience with her, and I won't go into the whole last thing that Melissa to us before she brought Vanessa back forth was, is there anything else we can do for you, sweetheart? And she said, I'm hungry. And Geri brought in some of somebody's chip dip. Chips and dip, and we set that on the altar with the flowers and the incense and the candle. She talked to us through the candle flame by making the flame rise tall for yes and sputter for no. And we had probably a good 40 minutes worth of talking to her that way without any other equipment, just the candle flame that was on the altar. And the house felt amazing the next morning when we walked through to make sure everything was shut down and the windows were shut and locked because we'd opened the house up to get fresh air through there. And I don't know, Geri, did you agree? The house felt absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whole, how are you? I think that whole, everything felt really good. You could feel definite energy shift when we did our blessings and prayers, and it just kept everybody safe and grounded pretty much. And that's something that we had talked about, Dennis, remember, before we even, started the event. That is so important. And that grounding and that blessings and the prayers made a huge difference. I mean, you just feel, it wasn't nothing negative. You just feel, it just felt really good.
Yeah.
And I think that just made all the difference in the world. Everybody enjoyed everything.
It was like she was allowed to come out and play, because that was also the first time she'd been outside in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was very playful energy.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that there's some residuals of that on the property for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Christian, thanks for joining us, brother.
We've got some time left. We got about 7 minutes left before Ryan comes on with his supernatural news. I had to remember what that was. So, Dennis, can you talk about a little bit about some of the public events that might be coming up at the cabin? I know you got one coming up on August the 20th.
Yeah, so August 20th is just a public event. We had so many people blowing us up asking when our next public event was, when's the next investigation. So we knocked out a weekend from making it available to teams to host a public event there. And then we're going to do, it's a private event and it'll be invite only, but it's mid-October for our crop family and friends that back us and support us. That'll be our Halloween. But we're still looking at dates. We're going to try to do, and if I can get team support, we're going to do like we did pre-COVID, which is just little 2-hour mini events. So we'll spend 4 hours a night at the property from like 7 to 9 and 9 to 11. We'll give tours to the general public in those 2 time slots, do a little brief investigation with them, and then bring in the next folks. Because one thing I found out, even though this is something that happened 40 plus years ago in Mechanicsville, a small little town, very few people either A, remember it, or B, knew about it.
Right.
And, now they're interested, what the hell, they're pushing this property as haunted. Well, I can give you a little bit of Civil War history right in your own backyard if you're a local. I can give you some history regarding this tragedy and this young lady. And then I can introduce you to the paranormal. Through my team, we can make this happen. And so many people don't understand. They look at TV, and don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for all the paranormal shows because they have done one thing that we couldn't do in all the years of investigating. They brought the paranormal mainstream. It's no longer kind of a taboo, and you're no longer looked at as crazy when you go, I had some shit happen in my house.
Yeah.
Now, these TV shows, even though they look at us a little bit and go, you do that? You're not like those cheesy assholes on TV, are you? No. See, there's a difference. TV, they do it this way because there's ratings involved and sponsors. We don't have all that mess. We just want happening in John Doe's house.
Right.
What is it like after we pass? So that's the difference between the TV shows and us. But the TV shows did bring it mainstream. But you still have so many people that have never had the opportunity to actually go out, use the gear and the instruments that we have, and do an investigation.
Right.
So we're
just assholes, not cheesy assholes.
I don't know. I've heard stories about you and Cheese Whiz, so I'd be careful, bud.
No, it's the cheesy poofs that are the dangerous stuff, right, Geri?
Yeah. So I met you through cheesy puffs.
Yeah. So, I've got, I think now about 2/3 of crop is in the listenership. So brace yourself, ladies and gentlemen. We will be doing the investigations and tours at the cabin again here for Halloween.
Okay.
I think I'm going to do something a little different than the other year, and I'm going to make it a little more special and a little more fun, not just cattle herding. I think we're going to have some fun with it. But we haven't really built a lot in the way of public investigations or anything, simply because we've had so many teams interested in investigating that we haven't knocked time off the calendar and said, all right, this is solely for, John Q. public to come out and check it out. And, one of the crazy things is we don't charge as much as most other locations. So I'm not asking, $600 for the night. Saturday night's only $250. Sunday night through Friday night's $200. Ryan and I purposely keep our rate with the Cabin on 360 low so that John Q. Public and Company can come investigate,
Right.
and not have to empty the bank.
Mm-hmm.
But that was, we've all looked at locations and gone, holy Christ! All right, so I can either make my mortgage payment that month or go investigate that place one night. It shouldn't be that way.
Right.
I get it. You have overhead, but holy Christ, it can't be that much.
Right.
Now, when you look at a place like Ohio State Reformatory, maybe their overhead is that high. I don't know what property tax is or what their power bill is. But, we're not in it to buy new boats and drive a Maserati. Ryan's car is pretty well beat up, and mine just, I'll be paying for it forever.
Yeah.
But, we do it to make it affordable and let people get introduced to the paranormal.
Yeah.
And I want to say one more time how absolutely heartfelt grateful I am for each of the members of Crop. Because man, without you guys, nobody would want to listen to my dumbass on a podcast or anything else. I wouldn't be anywhere. We wouldn't be anywhere without y'all's dedication, man. I love this team so fucking much.
Aw.
They are family. They are family.
That's sweet.
But
Despite the fact that
and
We love you too, asshole.
we've had some adversity because one of these assholes, namely me, has had some friction with other teams simply because I am the one that will call you out if you are trouble or whatever. I will call you out. And it has caused some friction for my team and those around me. And my team has stood by me because they know I do it because I'm right in my heart with what I do.
Yeah.
So I got to throw major kudos at them for that.
Yeah. Well, we love you too.
I see we've got like 1 minute left.
Yeah. We got to let Brian do supernatural
Thanks for
news.
having me on, y'all.
Thank you. My sister said hello because she can't be on, y'all. So she's somewhere else.
Dave, it's nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
He's an asshole too.
And I've also got
She got two of them. Oh.
in that last brief moment, I've also got to throw some huge props out to Pandora's Peregrination, Christian's Regal there that's in chat. I don't know if Melissa's in there or not, but Melissa Altman and Christian Zwiggle, man, they're just two of the best people I've locked up with so far doing investigations. They've always had props back. Thank you guys both so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and we appreciate you coming on the show, Dennis. You can come on anytime. We got Paranormal Roundtable coming up next week.
Excellent. Count me in.
Tuesday.
I'll let you cut me off. I'll have Ryan can get his show in.
Okay.
Thank you, Vibe Radio Network.
Thank you.
David. I appreciate you guys very much.
All right, you have a great night. Thanks, everybody that tuned into the show. Oh, let me do this. Continue. All right. In broadcasts.